Alright, this is part 2 of my reef tank experience, and what I wanted to show you was how I converted this kind of old style glass tank with all the equipment hanging off the back and the large canopy on top to this kind of more modern style where you just have it clean on top. I've suspended a T5 light, as you can see from my ceiling there. That's a 4 bulb high output T5, so there's 4 54 watt bulbs in there that light this thing up pretty nicely, and my little tiny corals and stuff have been okay, so I think it's alright for now. But anyway, this is the flow pattern, so I wanted to move everything to the back, the filtration to the back, or down underneath. So as you can see, there's an input, so the water comes into the display tank there, drifts over to the other side, and goes down that pipe. And right now, I cannot remember what we call this, but anyway, I didn't clean this out. You can see I got an algae issue right in here, so I kind of just clean that out once a week. But I'm hoping that by doing the Refugium below, which I'm going to show you right now, that I can get enough macro algae going to starve that stuff out. So underneath, the water comes down from the display tank into a filter sock, and then it's in what I call chamber 1. And in chamber 1 you can also see right here that there's a protein skimmer that came with this whole thing. The only thing down here, a couple things I had to buy separate, were the tank I got for free from someone I knew, and then I just bought that phosphate reactor tonight off Craigslist for 20 bucks, so saved myself some money there. So chamber 1, water comes in. Chamber 2, the Refugium with some macroalgae in there. This actually kind of, because I did the design where the water goes down underneath this, they call it, a lot of people call it a bubble trap. I didn't even know that when I did it. I was just copying what I saw on other people's YouTube videos. But basically it comes up here, and this is kind of like a settling pool, because all the heavy stuff as it moves across here, if any heavy stuff got past the filter sock or whatever, if I didn't have it on there for a moment or whatnot, the heavy stuff just falls into this thing, which is kind of like how they do water treatment for drinking water. They have big pools where the heavy stuff falls to the bottom. So then instead of doing a second bubble trap, on this side, the water just falls over the edge into compartment 3, which is the pump stage. So there's 2 pumps in there. The one I just added that runs the phosphate reactor, and right now I've just got active carbon in there. And the second pump is the main pump, which actually pumps the water out through a chiller, a 1/4 horsepower chiller, and then back up into the display tank. So one of the cool things about not having a bubble trap on the end, on the second side, is that when the pump shuts off, basically all the water from here back just stops. It just sits. So it's kind of like a holding tank. And then normally, if you didn't put a one-way valve on the pipe that pushes the water back up into the display tank would start draining back down into your Refugium and potentially overflow. But what I did was, by putting that one-way check valve, which I'll show you now, it's right back there. What happens when the pump shuts off, the display tank can no longer just automatically with gravity fill up below and flood my living room. So I never worry about a power outage or anything like that, because it never would ever fill up past the top of this lower tank system. Anyway, that's what I did so far. Again, never done this before, my first reef tank, so it's all learning experience. If I'm doing something different than I should, put it in the comments, but this so far seems to be working. Clearly I don't clean this for display, so you don't have to tell me my tank's dirty. I know.